I think it's that when they come into class, they're super excited to have the baby home. They want it. They're super excited about it. And then when they bring the baby back, they are just done. They're like, they've had enough and they don't want the baby anymore. And they're just, exhausted and tired, and they are ready to just be done. They've learned that it is difficult to have an infant and to care for an infant 24/7. And, they've learned what I want them to learn from using it. So I do probably 1 to 2 days of in-class paperwork type stuff, going over the contract and talking about the simulator and talking about how it works. And then 1 day of hands-on, how does the baby work? They get to respond to it. They get to hear the sounds and learn how to respond to make the baby, stop crying or what have you. Yeah. Well, this is what I have found over the years, because I used to just do a weekend. And I found that kids can really handle missing sleep for 2 nights in a row. A lot of them do it on a regular weekend anyway. And the 4 nights, really, by that last night, they are just done. They are exhausted, they are tired, they are sleep deprived, and they are just ready to be done with the baby. And so I've just found that length of time is perfect to really, for students to learn how exhausting and emotionally and physically draining it is to care for an infant for that length of time. The community has been supportive, I think. I think the girls and boys really will tell me about reactions they get when they're out and about. And sometimes, people will think that the babies are real, and so then they'll have reactions if they're not treating the babies like they're real. But when they learn that they're, a project for school, I think community members have been pretty supportive and think it's a pretty neat project to do and a pretty great way for kids to learn and understand the demands of parenting. And I tell the kids not to clear their schedules, because I think that if you were ever to have a baby, you couldn't just clear your schedule to make that baby fit in. You'd have to adjust and find a babysitter from time to time and make room for the baby as well. So I allow the babysitter key, but I kind of keep an eye on how much they use it. I think the biggest measurement is in the reflections that they write afterwards and in the discussions that we have. The kids really seem to understand how demanding it is to have an infant and to be a parent. And I think they really get that they are not ready. And so through discussion and reflection, I think that is the biggest measure. Looking into the future, I haven't kept track of if girls have had or boys have had, babies before they were ready or, at young ages or what have you. But I think that just their reactions when they're done with the simulator speaks volumes for what they learned during the process. I think the advice I would give is just to communicate with the people around you. So communicate with the other teachers in your building, let them know what you're doing, let them know what your purpose is and why it's important for your students to have this experience. Communicate with administration, communicate with parents for sure about what's taking place and what their students are going to go through as a result of having baby home for multiple days, and just keep those lines open. The other thing I would say is just really utilize the training materials that come with the baby and make sure that students are well trained and that they know how baby works and how to respond to baby so that they don't get flustered or anxious when they have them home.